So you haven't played a ton of games at Starfire over the years, but what do you know of what's your attitude going into this game?
I played a bunch of games there growing up, I guess. So a lot of state finals there, a lot of games with the academy there. So I've played in that stadium before. Obviously been in the stands for a lot of Open Cup games. I think I was back from college when it was that Portland, the crazy game with Portland there. Yeah, been around a lot of games at Starfire. Grew up playing on that field. It's an electric atmosphere. Obviously, the smaller stadium, having the crowd closer to you, and obviously it's a big game. One game away from a final, and we've struggled against these guys last two games, but over the last few years. So a lot of storylines going into this game, and we want to win and make a final, and if KC wins, obviously host the final. So it's a big opportunity for us.
Is the change of venue, is that a significant thing for you guys in terms of the mindset?
Yeah, because the field plays a lot different than Lumen. It's smaller. The turf is a little bit worse, I think. So it plays different. It's going to be an uglier game for sure. But we just have to find a way to win in these games. In big moments like this, even if we were playing at Lumen, sometimes semifinals are a little bit scrappier, a little bit uglier because both teams don't want to make that mistake. So, it's going to play a little bit different. The field's going to play different. So it is a different venue, a different feel a bit. We just have to find a way to win the game.
Considering the narrower pitch, how important is the spacing in between you guys, and how does that change going into this game?
Yeah, no, I don't think it changes too much. We know where we want to be. Obviously, it's more important to get it right on a smaller field. So we got to make sure we're disciplined in that sense. And again, we haven't scored a goal against these guys in a while. I know we scored a PK in the first game, but it's been a while since we scored against them. So we have to make sure our spacing's good and try to find ways to exploit them and break them down. But it's more important on a smaller field like this.
Do you play more direct and less possession? Is that kind of what?
Potentially, it could. It depends on what the game looks like. Depends on how they press, things like that. But yeah, it's in our, I think, mind that could be the way that the game turns, and can't get frustrated with that. You just gotta kind of embrace the chaos a little bit that this field brings, and that's one of the things that might happen is both teams might have to play a little bit more direct.
You've kind of struggled against this three-man backline that it's a lot of pressures, a lot of guys referencing you. What is it that either mindset-wise or in the way you're coming into this game that has to change to be more effective against them?
Yeah, a lot of credit to them. I don't know, I was watching the game, obviously the Leagues Cup final, and the announcer said some stat about the amount of goals they've given up since they switched to a three-man backline, and it's not necessarily just us that are struggling against it. It's a lot of teams. They're doing a really good job. So they have a lot of good players back there. Mario, Chanot, Aaron, obviously I know well. They're really good and really organized defensively and make it difficult. So they had a game Sunday. We'll see who they put out there. I know they're frustrated coming off a loss in a final, so it's going to be an intense game. But yeah, we've tried to look at the last games, figure out what we can do differently to try to break them down, because they have figured us out a little bit, and it's been a frustrating couple outings against them. So we want to right the ship in this game and push forward past this team, because they've made it difficult for us. So we're excited for another opportunity.
Red card wedding aside, some crazy things just seem to happen at Starfire, whether it's crazy endings or magical finishes for the home team. How aware are you of that, and just expectations for tomorrow in that regard?
Yeah, very aware. I think potentially it might be the field plays small, so there's a lot of you're closer to goal. There's a lot of chances to put the ball in the box. Things happen. Schmetz was talking about it. Whether we go up 1-0, go down 1-0, things change really quickly in these games and on this field. And we've seen that in the past, that the game can go from up 2-0, down 2-0 to tied in a second, and then you're off to PKs. And Andrew with his PK game earlier this year, and it's exciting. It's exciting. It provides a lot of exciting games, and I think tomorrow will be no exception. So whatever happens during the game, we got to be ready to know that the game can change quickly.
Is tomorrow one of those games where you got to maybe crank up, get angry Jordan on the field? He's just battling everything. Mentality is different?
Yeah, for sure, because it could be an ugly game where a lot of it's battling for long balls, trying to find little ways to score in the box, maybe not as much room to run in behind for either team. And so it's going to be a battle. It's going to be a fight. And I think having that mentality from the beginning, we talk a lot about it. You saw it from a lot of guys in the Pumas game, but maybe it took a tackle. It took them taking Christian down early or whatever it was when he got mad. But if we can find a way to kind of have that mentality from the opening whistle versus them needing to do something, I think that'll be helpful for us in this game. I think guys are ready for that battle. So.